all from start to finish, and now you can save thousands. Don't miss Empire's 50-50-50 sale. Schedule your free in-home estimate now.
800-588-2300 Empire.
When it came to making olive oil, Filippo Berio knew it had better be good. And one day he would learn what his olive oil could do for food, it could also do for hearts. Filippo Berio, then and now, the first and last name in olive oil.
When we made our commitment to the Gulf, BP had two big goals: help the Gulf recover and learn from what happened so we could be a better, safer energy company. I can tell you, safety is at the heart of everything we do. We've added cutting-edge technology, like a new deep-water well cap and a state-of-the-art monitoring center, where experts watch over all drilling activity 24/7. And we're sharing what we've learned so we can all produce energy more safely. Our commitment has never been stronger.
How'd you do on your quiz today?
9 out of 10.
9 out of 10, that's great.
I can see your heart through your eyes.
Nothing says, I'm happy to see you too, like a Milk-Bone biscuit. Say it with Milk-Bone. Life on the road is full of point Bs. And for all the miles, detours, and adventures along the way, we rely on our cars to get us wherever our ambition takes us. That's why we depend on Pep Boys. More than 700 stores open 7 days a week with the lowest prices on tires guaranteed. So you can get back to living the dream. Life is full of point Bs. Trust the boys to get you there.
Atlantis. Book by November 4th for rates from $189 per night for fall and winter travel and receive $250 instant savings. Atlantis.
Closed captioning brought to you by ChristianMingle.com. Find God's match for you.
Christian Mingle was an awesome opportunity to be able to get to know someone before you wanted to take that first step.
Join ChristianMingle.com today.
All right, you're looking at live pictures right outside the Superior Court of the state of California, where we are waiting for a decision in the Michael Jackson AEG live wrongful death case. Not too many cameras around, kind of a quiet scene, but there's a lot going on the floor where the verdict is going to be read. You're looking at the seal right there of the great state of California, because in and around that courtroom, people are starting to gather. Katherine Jackson is there, others getting ready to go in that courtroom and hear the verdict of 12 men and women on whether or not AEG is liable for Michael Jackson's death. And at stake, billions of dollars. That's what this all comes down to. Not only that, maybe the satisfaction, clarity for the family, or for AEG, who says they are not liable for Michael Jackson's death. It was all on Conrad Murray. He was found guilty in a criminal trial.
And we are going to find out what the jury has to say about that. We are really moments away, less than 10 minutes of when we expect to hear from the jury. So we showed you that live picture outside that Los Angeles courtroom, where you can imagine when that verdict is read, a lot of questions are going to be answered. We're talking $2 billion at stake, because a lot of people speculating just how can you determine how much Michael Jackson would have made had he survived. So you see there photographers gathering, trying to get reaction, I'm sure, once this verdict comes down, because Alan Duke reported to us that there were fans gathered outside there, and we've seen in other trials that they are emotional, that they are invested, and they have something to say always about Michael Jackson.
I covered the Conrad Murray trial out in Los Angeles. When that went down, there were hundreds of people gathering around, trying to make a statement. They wanted to speak on behalf of Michael Jackson and on behalf of the Michael Jackson family. When the Jackson family would come up, people would cheer. And for many Jackson fans out there, this is about vindication. They want to learn who will be held responsible for his death. Conrad Murray was, but was AEG also responsible? AEG's position has been all along, Michael Jackson was the one who wanted Conrad Murray as his doctor. They were simply the conduit. It was part of the contract. You have to have he wanted a doctor. This is the one he chose. We just pay the guy. So what will the jury think? And then you get down to the timing. 21 weeks of a trial. Many people think, well, that could go weeks in terms of a decision. So 4 days, what does that tell us? Does that tell us, hey, it's good for AEG? Maybe they decided no liability. Or Did they just get to a quick decision and say, yes, the Jackson family deserves something? And what will that number be?
And, you know, Ryan, I thought that really in the last few days, when we started to see inside that courtroom, because, you know, it was only in closing arguments that we got to see inside there and see these lawyers go at it, they were going for emotion. That's because this is an iconic pop star. This is the king of pop. And you saw there the Jackson family attorney playing the emotional video of Michael Jackson from when he was just a boy to then the years leading up to his growth and his explosion as the king of pop. And just how significant was that for jurors? Because we do know that on Friday, they asked for a DVD player. So you know they were going through some of that video that they asked for. They asked for the This Is It film.
Right.
They also asked for 12 copies of the AEG contract, which was never signed. But, you know, we're also talking about some of the evidence, and I want to bring in Joey Jackson. Joey, are you with us as we sort of try and read the tea leaves here, because we have about 10 minutes to go until we will know the verdict in the Michael Jackson wrongful death trial. Joey, what's your take on some of the emotion that came out here and how that's going to play to the jury?
Sure, Lynn. You know, emotion's always important, right? Because at the end of the day, jurors are people with families. And so you want to appeal to that. And even though things should be assessed on the law and the facts, it's really interesting the power that emotion really has. And I'm sure in this case, particularly with an icon like him, it was certainly no different.
Joey, let me jump in on you. Alan Duke is now inside the courthouse. Alan Duke, you're close to all the action that's going on inside. What are you seeing and hearing?
The lawyers for AEG Live looked somewhat relaxed as they just walked into the courtroom just a moment ago to take their seats. The jury has walked into the holding area not too far from the courtroom, so they're set in about 7 or 8 minutes to enter the courtroom for the reading of the verdict. All of the Jackson lawyers are not here yet. I can tell you they looked a lot more tense when I saw them than I just saw the AEG lawyers reflect. So you've got a couple hundred people in this large event room, this courtroom that they've chosen to deliver the verdict in. And, you know, people, conventional wisdom is what we've been talking about earlier, and everybody's sort of expecting to hear a verdict for AEG Live.
Interesting. Have you seen Katherine Jackson in there? I know you talked about the lawyers.
Yes. She put away her iPad that she was using earlier to entertain herself, and she is now sitting with one of her lawyers and also her nephew, Trent, who's always with her. She's sitting there. None of her sons or daughters are with her. None of the grandkids are here. It's just her in the courtroom awaiting the verdict.
Awaiting the verdict that we're really just minutes away from. We were expecting it 6:30 p.m. Eastern. That's what we're watching.
That's right. And Alan, we'll keep jumping back to you. If you have any information, let us know. Go ahead, Alan. Go ahead.
Head into the courtroom now. Right, bye.
Okay. Alan's headed on into the courtroom, folks. That means we are minutes away. Don't go anywhere because, Lynn, this is the time. This is when everybody's on pins and needles in that courtroom waiting for this decision. And think about this. It's not just a decision. This is months, years of their life coming down to this moment. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on Evening Express.
Marie Callender's knows all white meat chicken was made to be blanketed in golden